Do you want to install a new garbage disposal but don't know how? Well, that's perfect because in today's video I'm going to show you how to install a garbage disposal. Hey folks, Kevin here with Kev's Castle and CastleRemodel.com. If you want to help me out, just hit that like button down below and also hit the subscribe button next to it to get more videos like this where I'm going to help you turn your home into a sanctuary. I also want to tell you about a product I just made. It's called the Contractor Search Guide. And what it does is it walks you through the steps of finding a contractor for your home remodel projects. I'll have a link to it in the description if you want to go ahead and check it out. Now let's get started. The first step for any job that has power going to it is to turn it off at the breaker. Okay, so the left is the garbage disposal and it's off. What you're unable to see here behind my hand is I am loosening the two bolts that hold the drain pipe to the garbage disposal, and then after that I will be loosening the pipe clamp that is connecting the tube that is coming from the dishwasher. It's helpful to have a few old rags lying around, and if you think that there's going to be water in the lines that will be dripping out, it's also handy to have a bucket or a small pan or something that you can put below the pipes to catch any dripping water. The bracket that attaches the garbage disposal to the sink itself has 3 bolts. I am backing away the 2 that I can see in the front. The third one off to the left in the shot here is hard for me to see from the angle I'm at. So if I loosen the 2 that are closer to me, I am able to loosen the third one by hand. And I'm going to loosen all of these bolts all the way down before I can take the garbage disposal off of the sink. All of the pipes are detached from the garbage disposal. I am able to slide it because the bracket is loosened at the top, and I am taking a screwdriver and twisting the garbage disposal one way and the bracket the other way, and it, as you can see, just fell right off. And now it's time to remove the electrical wire from the old garbage disposal. To do this, I will be loosening up this L bracket to make it so that the wire is loose, and then removing the one screw that holds on this cover plate, which will expose the wire connections within. I am clipping the 2 wires, the white and the black, coming from the wall. That way I am able to pull them back through the opening in the garbage disposal. If I thought that the wires were too short, I would not be cutting them. I would try to disconnect them first before cutting any of them. And now I'm also taking off the ground. It is the green screw that the copper wire, which is the ground, is connected to. I feel like the easiest way to pull the wires out through the hole is to stand the garbage disposal upside down and pull them up. We will be installing the Insinkerator. It's a 3rd horsepower standard series. You can find this at practically any major retailer that sells hardware. That is the mounting bracket. We will be installing that onto the sink. And the green bag has the drain kit, but we won't be using that because we already have one installed down there. You can see in the dishwasher drain there is a stopper in there that needs to be broken loose. So to do that, what we'll do is we will lay it on its side, take a screwdriver and a rubber mallet. After you knock it loose, it's important to make sure that it comes all the way out. It could cause problems down the road if you don't get it out. The only time that you need to take this piece out is if you're hooking a dishwasher up to the garbage disposal itself. That is what this pipe is for. But if you don't have a dishwasher that you'll be hooking up, then don't worry about breaking that piece loose. You actually don't want to take it out.
And this is the piece that we broke loose. That's trash. We're going to throw it away. Back down all these screws.
I used a screwdriver to pop the ring off that's holding the bracket together. There's actually 3 pieces up here, and they all need to come off. Loosen the 3 bolts that are holding this bracket together so that you can take the pieces apart. If you start 2 of the bolts with a screwdriver, they will all be able to be loosened by hand after that. Slide the 2 pieces together so that you have access to the ring, and just use a flat screwdriver to pop it off. We're using Plumber's Putty to make a waterproof seal between the bracket and the sink. So take a ball of that and roll it between your hands until it forms a snake that is long enough to fit all the way around the bracket, the lip of the bracket, like this. The ring has words on it, so it's nice to line them up so that when you're looking in the sink, you can read them and they are facing the right direction. We're putting the pieces back together the same way that they were when they were taken out of the box. It's like a cardboard ring that goes on first, underneath the sink, and then the flat triangular piece. And the piece with the 3 bolts, you want to have it facing up towards the sink. And the hardest part is to hold all this in place and get that ring on there. But as you can see, it just pops right in. At this point, I'm actually making a mistake that I'll have to backtrack on in a moment. What I'm doing is I'm tightening these bolts down before I get the garbage disposal on the bracket. What you want to do is put the garbage disposal on the bracket before you tighten the bolts, because it's actually turning the ring that's inside the sink where the words are. The words are going to be backwards. And what I want to do is put the garbage disposal on at this point and get the discharge pipe lined up before I tighten these bolts down. I'm stripping the wires that were clipped before, and to do this I am using these wire strippers. These are not quite the easiest wire strippers to use for this type of job, so if you have a actual wire stripper set, that's what you want to use in this situation.
The wires.
I found that it's easiest to feed the wires through the angled electrical bracket first, and then feed the wires through the hole. That seems to be the easiest way to do it, and then afterwards you can just spin that bracket onto the bottom of the garbage disposal to lock it down. After the wire nuts are installed, I like to put a small piece of electrical tape on each wire nut and wrap it around so that they're connected to the wires, both wires themselves, so 1 nut to 2 wires, because I feel like it's a lot more secure that way and it's less likely for the wires to come loose. notches on the top of the garbage disposal that line up with the slots that are in the bracket. But as you can see, as I'm trying to line up the discharge pipe, what's happening is the actual entire bracket is turning, it's twisting, and it's making it so that the words in the sink are not lined up. If you don't mind this happening, then feel free to do it this way, but I end up taking it all apart and doing it again, just because I want to line up the words in the sink. Let's try this again. After I took that centerpiece out, I made sure that there was enough plumber's putty on there. Some of it did squish out, so I had to put more just to make sure that it was all properly in place.
Get it started, but not too tight. Next, we're going to put this on.
Now is the time to clean up all the extra plumber's putty that got squeezed out. Now's when we can tighten up all these bolts on the bracket just to make sure everything is snug.
Now we're going to test for leaks. And there you have it. It's that easy. Just go through those steps that I outlined in this video, and you're going to have your garbage disposal installed in no time. Thanks for watching this video, and if you would do me a favor, hit that like button. Also hit the subscribe button next to it if you want to get more videos like this. Go ahead.